You're gonna make it. Don't be fazed by what you see. You're gonna make it. I'm there for you, hope you're there for me. We can take it. Soon one day we'll all be free. Yes, indeed, you'll find a way. We're gonna make it. We'll find a way. We're gonna make it. We'll find a way. Hey, what's good, people, man? Platinum Bearded Dread. Question, man. Don't you sometimes feel like you're kind of lost, man? Yeah, just lost, you know, amidst all the noise and all the madness going on in the world. And when you look at how the world is right now, with all these changes, and we already know what the evil one is up to, you know, and the state of depression is at the highest it's ever been. And so much of it is going undetected, so we don't even see that. We're not going to know the end, the fallout from all of this till years to come. And what makes it even worse is hitting children at younger and younger ages. I just found out today that my nephew's best friend took his life. Yeah, and he's under 20, he took his life. Some say there was a lot of depression, but either way, he's not here anymore. And I don't know, it got me really thinking, man, where's the guidance in all of this? Or we just left to just, you know, feel our way around. Some people probably turn around and say, we've got like the Bible, we've got the Quran, Holy Quran, we've got, you know, the Tao Te Ching and the Bhagavad Gita and all these great books, which are great, but sometimes it's almost like you need something closer to home, you know, and even with all those books, most times we're getting someone else's interpretation. So it's very hard to know, you know, what is what, because it's someone else's interpretation and none of us are perfect. Sometimes I used to always wish that, you know, I met someone that would be a physical person, that would be a guide, you know, and it's like that doesn't happen anymore, man. Even if you look at like modern day now, look at Bob Marley. He is Mortimer Plano, the Rasta man, who taught Bob about the, you know, the essence and the teaching of Rasta, yeah. It was even, who else? Malcolm X. He had a teacher, the Honourable Elijah Muhammad. Minister Farrakhan had a teacher, the Honourable Elijah Muhammad. Who else? Bruce Lee had a teacher, Master Ip Man. So if you look at all these great ones, they all had teachers, man. So where's the teachers now? It's almost like they don't happen anymore. And if so, where are they and how do we get access to them? Because God knows we need it, man. You know what I mean? Now more than ever. Because with the amount of noise and propaganda and lies and, you know, it's hard to know who's telling the truth. It's hard to know what is the truth, and it's hard to know you're walking towards the truth. So how do we find a way, man? How do we find our way? Imagine. You're out alone, sitting on a park bench, and you're going through those same things I just said about, you know, in terms of how do we find a way for all of this and how do we cut through all the noise? And so you're deep in thought about this. And then unbeknownst to you, there was a man to your left, just standing there, quietly looking at you, with a gentle aura and a gentle smile. You don't think this man's creepy, but it's weird, you know, you just think something's weird about this. But anyway, he just has a gentle smile on his face. And you look around you to make sure, you know what I mean, this is real. And then he takes a step closer and says, I can help you find your way. And right now, you're kind of stunned because how in the heavens did he know what was going inside your mind? So you look around you to make sure he's talking to you. And you realize there's no one there but you and him. And rather than get into argument or into confrontation or debate about what he's just said, something inside you says, listen to him and trust him where he's taking you on this one. So you say, I don't know who you are, I don't know how you got here, but I'm listening. So he says, are you sure? Because the journey I'm going to take you on, you have to leave everything behind. It's the only way you're going to hear from the source of all life, the divine one. It's the only way you're going to hear. But you're going to go on a journey, and it's not going to be an easy one, and it's going to mean trusting and leaving everything behind. And in your mind you're thinking, if me finding a way means leaving everything behind, that's easy, I can do this, man. You know what I mean? Because I need it, man, I can do this. And he asks you again, are you sure? And you say, yeah, of course. So it gets you to close your eyes. You close your eyes. Remember, we're imagining this now. You close your eyes. And he says, as you close your eyes, it becomes like a dream-like state. So he manifests a strange-looking aircraft, like a spaceship, if you like, a small little portable kind of spaceship, if you like, and says for you to step in it. So remember, now all this is going on in a dreamlike state. So you step inside the strange-looking aircraft, spacecraft, whatever you want to call it, and it closes. And now you can just hear his voice. You can't see him, you can just hear his voice, like he's talking within your mind. And then the aircraft slowly begins to lift off. And as it lifts up, you start kind of like feeling a little bit worried now, because you can see everything that's familiar to you, you know, where you live, the park, the bench you're just sitting on, moving away from you. And you're getting a little bit anxious, especially as it gets smaller and smaller, and you're looking below you thinking, have I made a mistake? But then you remind yourself that if this is going to help you to find your way and, you know, find the guide, the divine guidance, then let me just hold on to this and trust it. So it moves further and further away from what you're familiar with. And already it's showing you that the importance of letting go with what is familiar, quote unquote. Moves away, and then now we're in the sky now. It's got to the point now you're amongst the clouds. And for the first time, you know, you see a bit of nature, you see the birds flying through the clouds. And it's a beautiful thing, because all you're seeing is nature, clouds and birds. So you're beginning to realize how much you took those things for granted, and how much you didn't really see that as a way to teach you, you know, about life. We've always had a sky. You said to yourself, we've always had a sky above me, but I've never really looked at it and pondered on it and seen it for what it was and what it does for us. But anyway, you're in the clouds now. The birds, they're flying past, very pleasant. And then it starts to get darker. Again now, you go through that same fear where, you know, what is this unfamiliar place? Because it gets darker and darker, and you realise you're coming out of, we're not quite, but you're coming further and further into the clouds to where potentially space might be. And then it gets even darker, and then as it gets dark, you look above you and you see this ring of fire, and now you're petrified, because you're saying to yourself, if I have to go through that, I'm going to melt, I'm going to burn, I'm going to die, basically. And so now the man is not there, but in your mind you're saying, I want to leave, I want to go back, I don't want to die, I don't want to, this is not how I want it to end. I've made a mistake. No, I'm not ready to die, And the man consoles you and says, you have to trust me. And you promise yourself that you would trust me. So you need to keep going. Because at the end of the day, it may be more dangerous going back. Because right now you're in the middle of nowhere. And you'll be more traumatized because you wouldn't have taken anything back with you. And even though you're deeply upset, you hold fast and say, okay. You close your eyes and it gets hotter and hotter. And then as you go through this ring of fire, you feel like you're melting. Everything around you is melting. You're burning up. And now it's the kind of heat that's so intense that your whole body is shutting down. Your mind is beginning to, all your memories are being burnt out of what you think you were, what you think you are, is being burnt away as you go through this ring of fire. And it's the most suffocating, terrifying experience you've had thus far. You know, the idea that this is it, you're dying. You know, you get a glimpse into what death is like. And you're petrified. But you've made yourself a promise that if you're gonna die, well, at least you tried. At least you made the promise. And this goes on for what seems like an eternity. This fire, this heat, this shutting down of the body, this wiping away of, you know, who you think you are, and this almost like hell, you know? Burn, burn, burn. Now, I don't mean necessarily burn in a literal sense, but burn in the sense of destruction. Everything that is of you, that you thought was of you, is just getting burnt away. Then you go through that ring of fire, and then you end up into this place that is black. I mean, we're not talking night black, we're talking triple black. You know, so dark. Not only can you not see through the windscreen of the aircraft, you can't even see your own hands. You even wonder if you have a body anymore. Maybe you don't. Maybe that's what happened. Your body got burnt away. But everything's pitch black. And now now you're really scared. And I'll tell you why you're scared, is because you can hear everything, but you can hear nothing. You know, it's so quiet that even the blood pumping through your veins, your heartbeat sounds like it's, you know, amplified many, many times over. So it's like a deafening silence. Yeah, like a deafening silence that's so quiet, but it's so potent. And not only the silence, but the blackness of it all. You've never been in an atmosphere where it's pitch black. No matter how much you squint your eyes, you don't adjust to that blackness, it's just pitch black. And you have visions of, for some reason, you're taken back to when you was in the womb as an embryo. Even though you don't remember that, you just feel like, you know, you're in a place of growth and birth, if that makes sense. And then what comes over you is a feeling of presence. You know, it goes from intense fear to a feeling of presence. And you feel that even though you're alone, quote unquote, but you're not. There's a silent power within that triple darkness that is communicating with you and molding you. And you're beginning to realize that that fire you went through represented the burning away of all the things that the world that you thought was the proper world destroyed. All the distractions, all the noise, you know, all the entertainment, all the things that took you away from being able to hear clearly from the inner guide, divine guide that you have, was burnt away by that ring of fire. And you had to go through that ring of fire in the same way when you're born. You know, we enter a new world, but you had to go into that world and be prepared to die to what you thought you knew. And fire has a purifying capability, if you like. I can't find a word. Whereby when it burns something, it just breaks it all down. And you realize that ring of fire served two purposes. One, you had to go through something that was uncomfortable if you really were prepared to get through to the other side. And two, the fire represented just destroying the ego and everything that comes with the me, the I part. So you're enveloped in this silence and this darkness, but it becomes comforting. No one's talking to you, but you can feel something happening within inside yourself that words don't really words can't really describe it. You just know that you're being molded, made, shaped within that triple darkness, like you're like a baby again. It's like you're being reborn and being remade. And now what happens is that you get comfortable with that triple blackness, darkness, and you know sooner or later you're gonna have to return back. But now you're scared to return back. Why? Because you feel safe here. You know, you feel safe, and you don't have to talk about, you know, is there a God or is this? You just know, and you become one with that divine presence, and you don't want to go back because you've realized all that you thought was life or living was the complete opposite. And for you to go back now, you're going to feel like a stranger in a strange place because you don't belong there anymore. But ultimately, the man speaks within your voice, within your mind, and says it's time to return. And you're crying because you don't want to go back because you don't feel like you fit there anymore. But ultimately, you can't stay there forever. Not now, anyway. So, through tears and through, I don't know, a sense of grief, a sense of loss, a sense of separation, having left that feeling of that place of comfort and warmth, and you accept and acknowledge the fact that you got to go back. And then it's almost like your eyes shut, you open your eyes again, and you're laying in your bed. And it's just quiet. In bed you can hear the birds, because you realise this, dawn is breaking and stuff. And the first thing you think to yourself is, was that a dream or was that real? But then what happens is that as you leave your house and go through your day-to-day things, work, and everything else that you do, you're no longer interested in all the distractions that are out there anymore. And you can feel a sense of guidance, almost like you have your own guide, but it's not in a physical form, it's within yourself. And everything that you used to do, you're no longer drawn to. And people begin to notice that there's a self-assuredness about yourself, there's a peacefulness is a better word, a peacefulness about yourself, and it's like you know where you're going. You're no longer drawn to all the bright lights and the noise, but there's a peacefulness and a simplicity as well. And in a way it scares you because when you look at people's reaction that you used to know, but then you know at the same time that where you've come from, what you've been taught, is something that you have to share with others, not in any way by force, but just simply by being who you are. And now you've become the guide that you so much sought after for others. Remember, it's just a story, yeah? Just imagination. But yeah, man. And you've helped other people find their way in the same way that stranger helped you find yours. Maybe that stranger was an angel, who knows? But anyway, man, Platinum Bearded Dread. Yeah. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe or something, and we'll do this again. Yeah, man.